I'm glad we talk about this. Do you know that whoever controls the media and the images that is being sent out controls the culture?
That's right.
And who controls that? The enemy. He dictates, through the money, through greed, what they want people to see, and what they see, that's going to make them start thinking. That's why the society, we are so ran by public opinion, is because what the image that the television sends out, and through song, and through the media, whatever, it conforms our mind.
I want to be like her.
Yeah, I want to be like him. There it is.
I want to be like her.
There you go.
They got money.
Uh-huh. See?
Decided. The enemy know that we need money,
Uh-huh.
but he also will use money to manipulate people.
Yes.
That's a high
Yes.
position.
Yes.
And that decision,
That's right.
what they're going through, it affects everybody else.
That's right.
underneath.
That's right. Absolutely, brother. All right, but let's get down to let's go down to immigration. Let's start dealing with the roots of why we are so afraid of young black men, and let's see where it all started and how it built the bridge from that point to here, and how we started from there to how we got here, so we can really understand. And I don't want you to think that it's just young black men, all right? That's just what the media has put out there to you. We just said that media, whoever owns the media controls it, which is the enemy, by influencing the people on the top, by putting those images out there so they can make more money off of the black culture or off of any culture, but to make you think this is the way it should be. In actuality, it's a lie.
Immigrants in the 1900s, New York City.
Yes.
Why they left home?
Now we're talking about immigration now, and that we're going back to early 1900s. Why did people leave their country, mainly Europe? Why did they leave Europe to come to New York? Because that's basically where they came, because France gave the United States the Statue of Liberty as a peace agreement.
That's right.
And that Statue of Liberty it was like the gateway for people to come to this country to earn a living. They knew they wasn't going to get persecuted. They knew they had an opportunity if they worked hard to make a way for their families, in which they did not have in their country, so they had to leave their country to come to the United States. So this is where we at, and we're going to build the foundation for you here.
In the late 19th century, America was seen as the land of opportunity, and New York City as the gateway.
Yes.
After the reunification of the United States at the end of the Civil War in 1865,
Yes.
through foreign eyes, America began to emerge as a country where discrimination were intolerable and freedom was promised
Yes.
to all who entered.
All right.
As the United States economy grew, other country economy weakened.
That's right.
Many European countries suffer from economic hardship,
Yes.
crop failure, result in loss of jobs and famine.
Yes.
You see that today.
And that's right, and I'm glad you said that, because what they experienced in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, they were leaving their country because they didn't have it. Now our country is experiencing the same thing, is because of greed.
That's right.
We're suffering the same thing right now, but where can we go?
Can't go nowhere.
Can't go nowhere.
Can't go nowhere.
So we're stuck.
So now they really, God said He'd give us what our heart desires. Their promise will be empty.
Yes, absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Although poverty became a problem in Europe, which helped fuel the mass migration,
Yes.
it was not the only obstacle Europeans faced.
That's right.
Here we go. Religious and political freedom were
Yes.
two of the reasons for the colonization of the New World in the late 19th century.
Yeah.
Religious and political freedom were once again a factor in the migration of millions.
Yes.
Religious and political freedom. Wow. Italy was one of the countries that lacked religious freedom.
That's right.
Wow. The ruling Catholic Church imposed their beliefs on all Italians, creating the desire of religious autonomy. Excuse me. New York City was a haven for all people from all religions and all nationalities.
Yes.
Wow. The instability of the Italian government and the fear of being ruled by Spanish or stringent rules caused Italians to flee.
Yes.
Many who were later replaced the Irish in labor jobs.
Yes.
Similar to the Italians were the Eastern Europeans who also had a shortage of jobs due to the Industrial Revolution.
Okay, stop right here.
Wow.
So, What that means then, Brother Dwight, is that they were fleeing persecution themselves. Because they didn't have no freedom.
It was all over the world.
It was all over the world.
Except the New World.
Except the New World, which was America. Everybody wanted to come to the land, as we called it, the land of opportunity, to come here to build a new life. But we got to understand now, we already heard that the Italians were persecuted, but before the Italians came, the Irish was here. Okay? And we're going to get deep down into this because I want you to see something. I want you to see the parallels that I'm going to show you and see how the table has turned 360 degrees from when it was in the 40s and the 50s into it is now. I'm going to show you something about in sports, how the table has turned.
Wow.
Okay? All right. Go ahead, Brother Dwight.
New York City was home to Ellis Island,
Yes.
the location in which immigrants were to be processed for clearance to enter the country.
Yes.
Living in New York City provided work and accessibility to sports. In time, the city provided the opportunity for immigrants to build communities with people from their country or origin. Immigration were categorized as new and old immigrants. Old immigrants include German, Irish, and English. The new immigrants included those from Italy, Russia, Poland, and Australia.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, stop right there. So what were the first immigrants? What was the first wave of immigrants, brother? What was it? What were the first ones?
The first one was the Germans,
Germans, okay.
Irish,
and
and English.
English. Okay, then what was the second wave?
Italy,
Okay, Italy.
Russia,
Okay, Russia.
Poland, and Australia.
Okay, so we got two waves of immigrants coming into the new world. Now, it didn't say nothing about blacks. So now you can't say it all started with blacks now because we're getting ready to see how society, when they came to, when some people, when you get a mass migration of people, those people got to go somewhere. They got to go somewhere to live.
Quick, fast, and here.
Quick, fast, and hard. Because, and also what happens is, when that society or that community in which they're coming, if they're not prepared for the influx of immigrants, and we talk about today, with the Mexicans that's coming in off the border, they don't have a place to put them. Why is that? Because they're trying to flee persecution, they're trying to get to a better place, which is the new world to them, America, land of opportunity. If I go there and I work, I can make a better home for my family. I don't have to leave them there, but I can send money back home and then they come see, they come live with us. You better listen. This is how you're gonna see how this all ties together. Go ahead, brother. Woo! This is deep.
The New York City population was as small as 1 million people compared to the 3.5 million it held at the turn of the century in the 1900s. 1.3 million which were foreign-born.
That's right.
However, not all immigrants who entered the country remained. There were many cases where immigrants sheltered for just enough time to earn and save money and return to their homeland. This caused anger and anger toward those immigrants who lived the American dream only to return with American-made money to their homeland.
Okay. What is that? Just what we went through just there, Brother Dwight, in those 3 paragraphs. What does that story tell you? What does it mean to you as a young man?
As I was reading, I saw another big point of view that was sticking out to me, and I want to touch base for the religious and the political freedom. I guess most countries don't have that freedom to exercise their political views, their religious views, and their political views, so they come over here. And the thing is, the enemy knows that. So when he get enough migrated people over here, he want to manipulate those people and get them off track, whether from a religious standpoint, and from a political standpoint. Then they want if you see now, people don't really from religion. I'll say they skeptical about religions and they don't want to get involved, and also politics as well by the enemy corrupting them. And it's just amazing how. Just learning all this information that how society say black man or this and that, or we did this and that, but it goes beyond just our race. It goes back. Other people were suppressed, came over here, and they got suppressed by the white men as well too. And they treated them like dirt and threw them where we are now.
That's right. Absolutely. Okay.
I'm just taking all this in as well too.
All right, let's move on.
Immigrants neighborhoods in New York City.
Okay.
Upon arriving in New York City, most immigrants found themselves moving to the lower east side of the city.
Yes.
Most notable, the East Village.
That's right.
Esther Place, Little Germany, and Alphabet City.
That's right.
5 Point and Chinatown, Little Italy, and the Borough.
That's right.
These neighborhoods were cramped together in areas bordered by 14th Street on the north, Broadway and Pearl Street to the west, Beverly Street to the south, and East River to the east. By the turn of the 20th century, the lower east side became vastly diverse.
Yes.
Immigrants from a wide variety of ethnic origin found themselves cramped together on a piece of land only about 14 square miles inside. And I just want to say, for people who have visualized about this, just imagine a small courtyard of a prison or a jail, state prison, and just imagine just different groups of people there, from different races. What do you think is going to happen? They all cramped in there.
That's
you
right.
got different people from different backgrounds, from different races that respond differently.
That's right.
From versus here, like if you go across seas, people across seas, they wave probably like 10 feet before they get to the person. Versus over here.
So they was all cramped in one, and they was all cramped in one space, like you said. Now that's going to create some issues there. It's going to create some issues. Crime is going to be high, and everything else, and probably the jobs and the living conditions probably were horrible. You know what I'm saying? Just like today, just like it is today in certain city areas, major cities, New York, Newark, where I'm from, New Jersey, Chicago, Atlanta, LA, same exact thing, have not changed. It's still the same. But what happens is when they did that, things started to change. And they started to change for the worse, because when you have those many people in that small spot of place, a lot of things are going to affect a lot of people mentally, physically, and socially, and emotionally as well, brother. Exactly. So let's go down and let's move into the history of the slums, brother, because this is where it's going to create. This is where we're going to start our journey.
Slums were common in the United States. Slums were common in the United States in Europe before the early 20th century. New York City is believed to have created the world's first slum, named the 5 Points in 1825. As it evolved into a large urban settlement, 5 Point Slum used to be a lake named Colette.
That's right.
Wow. By the late 1700s, the lake was surrounded by slaughterhouses and tanners which emptied their waste directly into this lake. Trash pile, modern waste collection and sanitation system, electricity, and other technology had yet to be invented and adapted. Wow. The lake was a reeking cesspool by the early 1800s. Lake Colette of New York City was filled up and dry, and it was 5 Points. United States first slum, it is a slum. 5 Point was occupied by successful waves of feed slaves.
Free slaves,
Irish and Italians, then Chinese immigrants.
Okay, now, the first slums occupied who?
The Irish.
Irish.
And Italians.
Italians.
And Chinese immigrants.
The Chinese immigrants. So the first slums in your first gangs, and what you're going to get into, it was not black people. They were more, they were fearful of them, the Italians, the Chinese, and the Irish. So why are we so afraid of black men? Is because what happened over almost 150 years ago is still happening today, but the tables have turned. And the reason why they turned is because we, the black people, have not raised up, is because of the oppression that was put down on them when they migrated from, we're going to get into this, when they migrated from the south to the north during the 50s and 60s. Now, what's happening is, now they're being suppressed, and now the young black men are acting out the same way the Irish, the Italian, and the Chinese did during that time.
Wow.
Okay, brother.
It housed the poor, ruined people living farms, ruined people leaving farms for opportunity. And the persecuted people from Europe pouring into New York City, bars, bottomless, squalling, and lightless tenants line its street. Violence and crime were were commonplace.
Yep.
Political and social elite, discussed it with derives, Slums like 5 Points trigger discussion of affordable housing and slum removal. Today, 5 Point slum has transformed into the Lake Italy and Chinatown neighborhood of New York City.
That's correct.
5 Point was not the only slum in America. Jacob Ross, Walker Evans, Lewis Hine, and other photographic many before World War II.
Yes.
Slum was found in every major urban region of the United States in the early 20th century, which is the 1900s.
That's right.
Before and through the Great Depression, slums, sometimes called poorhouses, crowded the Boston Common, later at the fringes of the city.
What does that mean to you, brother? And compared to what we're going through today in our society?
My whole general standpoint for this is that the same thing what those individuals was going through before the Irish, the Italian, Chinese, how they would get oppressed and get pressed down by the, I guess, the more affordable class, which was Caucasian people at that time. Black people are in that same position today.
Yeah.
And now that we're in that position, they giving us all the heat, saying that they are afraid of us because this and that. But the thing is, they have us in that position. They're not giving us the opportunity, or they feel like we can't present the opportunity, the education, and things like that. So of course we're gonna go by us being a slum. We're gonna protect the only thing what we have, and we're gonna protect it or react to or handle a situation by all means necessary. That's how they would say, and they're gonna get money the best way that they feel fit. And that's selling drugs, gang violence, robbery, murder. Things like anything gonna happen by this being.
That's right. All right, let's go on. I'm gonna read this. Causes that create and expand slums. Slums sprout and continue for a combination of demographic, social, economic, and political reasons. All right, those are things right there. Common causes include rapid rural to urban migration. We talked about that. We're going to talk about that also because after, like I said, after World War II, that's when the suburbs started to become very popular because now jobs were beginning to open up because during the war period time, there were factories that had to create things and make things for the war effort. Now, other jobs are happening now, so now the white people or the Caucasian people at that time, they're able to get better jobs. Now they can move from the slum areas, which was created during the 1900s with the Irish and the Polish and the German and all these other ones. They were able to migrate out to the suburbs. Now they were able to work together as a team and work together, which we as blacks don't do in our communities because we have not been shown, or we're jealous of one another because we feel that we can't work together, which we really can, but we have been suppressed for so long, we feel that it's for me, myself, and I. And that's what happens. So what happened with the migration, as we see, and like it says here, poor planning, we talked about that a minute ago, economic stagnation and depression, we talked about that, poverty, high unemployment, informal economy, colonialism, segregation, still happening today, politics, natural disasters, and social conflicts. Slums are usually the most stigmatized parts of a city or town. All right, other areas carry high social stigma, such as Skid Rows, which is in New York, which is the Bowery, which is, I know the area very well. I'm from there. Red light districts, docks, often are located near slum neighborhoods. Exactly right. In the mind of the general public, this disrupt and stigma of the slum area washes onto the people who frequent or inhabit it. When most people think of a slum, they think of residents who deviate from the morals, norms, and standards of public decency held up by the wider conventional community, which is not true. They cannot find a job, or their situation, even if there's a one parent home, that one parent can't do it all. And if the husband is left with the mother with all these kids, how are they going to survive? So it's not that they are they're breaking the law. Some of these people that live in the slums are law-abiding people. They want to do the right thing, but the environment which they're in suppresses them so much they get impress their mind, and then the children, which are the boys that come up, they feel the only way to survive is like we talked about. All right.